Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Dr. Venus Ramos. You may recognize her from her appearances on The Bachelor, Paris, I Do Anything, Stardate, Screenplay, How Do I Look? She is a licensed physician, assistant clinical professor at UC Irvine, an NSCA certified strength and conditioning specialist, a recurring guest and fitness expert on the TV show The Doctors. Man, her bio goes on and on and on. We're going to dive into it. Dr. Venus, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, I am certainly thrilled to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
All right. So let's go back in time a little bit. You've taken your career to levels most doctors don't dream of. So tell us a little bit what inspired you to become a physician, and then how did you make the transition from a regular doctor to a celebrity?
My goodness. Well, thank you for calling me a celebrity, but I guess if I am celebrated and I at least celebrate myself, then I am a celebrity. Great.
Right.
All right. So I've always wanted to be a doctor. So becoming a doctor is something that, as I think I remember a story of me being on a preschool playground. I fell down, skinned my knee, and someone put a Band-Aid on it and wanted to be a doctor. There it is.
There you go.
So that's a simple enough story to let you know I've wanted to be a doctor for a long time. As far as moving into celebrity status, I think that came to be mostly because I was always open to possibilities and opportunity. And I always looked for it where it perhaps may not be traditionally looked for. When you are on the traditional route of going to medical school, going to residency, and opening up a practice, or looking for a job in a hospital. So it started for me as a medical student. I happened to be hanging out. I went to the University of Miami for medical school. So I happened to be in South Beach at a sports bar with some of my med school friends. And we were just having lunch, and right there on the TV screens was a fitness competition that on ESPN. And we saw that fitness competition. They said, "Hey, I've seen you working out in the med school gym. You should try that." And I told my friends, well, I will. I am never one to turn down a challenge. So I went on to a Yahoo search, because back then we used Yahoo, not Google yet. And I found the fitness competition, and there it was. I started, my first big TV appearance was as a fitness competitor, and that pretty much led to all of the opportunities, becoming known as the doctor who did fitness competitions, or back then it was the medical student who did fitness competitions. And then it was, oh, you're the medical resident who does fitness competition, and then the doctor. So it came to be that I was the doctor/fitness expert, and all of the opportunities continued to follow after that.
I'm sure the longer version of that should be in a book somewhere if it isn't already, and you're underselling it, but I certainly understand where you're coming from. So I am sure you weren't the only doctor who might do some fitness competitions. I'm wondering how you parlayed that, because I don't know that, let's say, the doctor show on TV or those other shows are going to fitness competitions scouting for medical talent. So, because it's probably not the place where a lot of doctors congregate. So how did that kind of come about?
Again, I really did a lot of looking for opportunities and seeing what I could do to perhaps pitch myself to those opportunities. So basically, I knew that having come from this medical background and fitness background, perhaps I had a little bit of something unique to offer as far as an expertise in the area, or at least have a lot of credibility in terms of being able to provide some fitness advice. I saw people writing in magazines. I would see pictures of models in magazines and their workouts in the magazines. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm a doctor, or I'm studying to be a doctor at that time. I know a lot about the human body. I should be the one writing these articles. I should be the one posing for the workouts in the fitness magazines. So let me figure out how to do that. So I think it was a book. I think it still exists. We don't necessarily have to do it this way anymore, but Writer's Market, where you figure out where.
I remember that. That went 20 years ago. Yes.
Exactly. So I found that book, and this is what you do. You find the magazines you want to write for, and you send them pitches. So I, again, Yahoo'd how to write a pitch to a magazine to figure out how I was going to write for them. And I found out that I wasn't getting a whole lot of responses, because they wanted you to already have written. They said, well, where's your other work? I'm like, well, I don't have any other. You have to get me to, you have to accept my pitch before I have some work to show you. So you get caught in this, what do I do? What do I do? So I began figuring out, all right, I've been doing these fitness competitions. Let me see if I can use that to say, hey, I'm different. So the fitness competitions happen to be on ESPN. Dr. Venus as featured on ESPN. So I just started really pulling absolutely anything and everything to build up my credibility as the fitness expert that they needed to feature.
All right. Well, congratulations on actually doing the research, finding out and implementing it, and then staying persistent until it paid off. Let's talk a little bit about the medical side and what you're doing now. So tell us a little bit about how you're practicing in this day and age.
Well, on the medical side, that is something that I, again, really wanted to make sure that I wanted to make a true impact in my community. So I'm in the specialty of physical medicine and rehabilitation. That is what I am board certified in. So I see patients who have suffered any type of disabling condition. Perhaps they've had a brain injury or a spinal cord injury or even a stroke, things along that line. That's what I see in the hospital. In my office, I have a lot of people who come to me who are in pain, and that's what's causing their disability and their inability to function. But I wanted to see if I could do more and reach a wider audience. Having been on different TV shows, I've seen the power of reaching a wider audience with the message of fitness. So I wanted to do that with health. And I had not done that before about 2016. There was a very specific thing that happened in 2016, which actually made me want to do this, but I moved into the online space at that time because I felt I would be able to reach a wider audience, trying to really promote health through some health coaching, rather than just staying in my local area as a physician, and perhaps prevent some of the things that I was coming to see in that were coming to see me in the hospital, things like stroke.
Okay, so now you given your success in the fitness competition market, you help coach other competitors on how to compete better. You also do health coaching, you have retreats and online stuff. Talk to us a little bit about how the health coaching and the online stuff work.
Well, I actually did a little bit of moonlighting as a medical resident, as a personal trainer, having come from the fitness background. And again, I really wanted to see what I could do more online, because of course that leverages my time so much better to be able to create programs online, as opposed to the schedule, a very rigorous schedule that I have in the hospital and in my office practice. So I've been doing what I can. And back in 2016, when I started, I really wanted to figure out the best way to provide these programs. And that's when I discovered creating group programs as a way of really reaching a wider audience and being able to deliver a lot of value without tearing me away from the hospital too much or my medical practice too much. So that's when I really started creating the programs, but I was having a little bit of difficulty figuring out, okay, I do have some authority in this field. I do have some recognizability in this field as well, but I'm still having a hard time reaching this online audience. There's, at this point, 2016, there's a whole lot going on online. So how do you really stand out? How do you get an audience to pay attention to you? And that's when I discovered essentially the concept of JV partners, using the power of other people's audiences to help get your own word out there. So that is what I did. And my first JV partnership was actually using speakers as JV partners for my very own summit that I hosted.
Awesome. And that is something obviously we preach and do for our clients here at Sharkpreneur and Market Domination. So we could do a whole long episode just about that. Before we get into the business side, one other question. Who you have a great headline on one of your websites: over 98% of fat loss programs fail, and it's not your fault. Why do you think so many fitness, health, wellness, weight loss programs don't work?
What I really truly believe is that all fitness programs can work, but it's the problem is finding the right program for you. So it's not that you are picking a program and you failed that program. It is truly not your fault. It's just about finding the right program that's going to fit your lifestyle. Once it fits your lifestyle, then pretty much any program will work, because most programs out there are based on some sort of a calorie reduction, or they're based on certain foods that fit with your body and the way it functions and works. So if you're sticking to it, there's no reason for you to fail it unless it's just not the right match for you, your body, and your lifestyle.
That's a great explanation. Who's an ideal client, customer, or patient for what you're doing now?
Right now, the ideal person would be someone who is just committed to wanting to adopt a lifestyle that's going to give them everything that they want out of life. Happiness with their family, happiness in their career, and happiness in their life. If you are committed, then you're absolutely someone that I should talk to, that you should talk to me, because we can find the way that's going to work for you. I am tremendously busy myself, and I led a very successful career as a fitness athlete while going to medical school and starting my medical practice with my medical group. So I truly understand what it is to be so busy that it seems like it would be impossible to adopt a fitness lifestyle as well. But there is always a way. You just got to find the way that's going to fit you.
Awesome. I love the customization approach. You give advice every day. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh my gosh, the best advice I've ever gotten. The one thing that's ringing in my head is, you are a star. Never give up. And that applies to so many different things, but this is just something that someone told me when I was in high school, a drama teacher, and I was having difficulty just getting the bigger roles in theater, in high school theater. And they said, there's something about you. You are a star. Don't give up. And it's applied to so many areas of my life, not just starring on TV, because I'm not necessarily starring on any TV shows right now, but definitely trying to be the star of my own career, my own business and industry.
Well, you've done a fantastic job. For our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more about you, where is the best place for us to send them?
Oh, well, that's super easy. My website is a great place to start, drvenus.com. Spell out doctor, DOCTOR.
Awesome. Well, this has been Seth Greene with Dr. Venus Ramos of drvenus.com. Dr. Venus, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you again.
Anything else you want to share that I didn't think to ask you?
Oh, wow. No, I think I am good, fully covered here.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.